Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Michael Pina Sr. Show here, April 14th, 2020. This is episode 162. This is a show that's supposed to help you stay out of debt, live on less than you make, so later we can live and give like nobody else. Lou Gehrig said, "Yet today I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. I might have been given a bad break, but I've got an awful lot to live for." And we're going to talk about a few things today about keeping things into perspective. But before I do that, I want to bring on some good news of the day. Because I'm trying to bring on some good news. Hopefully things are going good for you right now during this pandemic. And that's kind of what I want to talk about. I think I got some good news with me and my family. It's been kind of fun, even during this, that we're all together. And one thing we brought back is the family dinner. I mean, how weird is that? I mean, back when I was growing up, you'd have family dinner every Sunday, regardless of what was going on. All right. And I'm usually extremely busy during this time of the year, but we're able to sit down and have a family dinner together. So that's the good news that you should be enjoying too, is bringing back the good old family dinner. All right. So I just want to quickly talk about keeping things in perspective because, I talked about Lou Gehrig right at the top, and if you don't know who that is, get your kids educated on the history of Lou Gehrig. They call him the Iron Horse. Find out why they call him the Iron Horse. And I find it funny because I'm sitting there watching Xavier Riddle in the Secret Museum with my granddaughter, and they had Lou Gehrig on it. And it's funny because they bring up Lou Gehrig and they go through the history of him, and they call him the Iron Horse, but teach them the history of the Iron Horse and the railroad system throughout our country, because it's a whole intertwined thing of our history. But Lou Gehrig kept things in perspective, and I want you to too, because this is a time where, I love to talk about money. I hope you're getting your stimulus checks. Remember, Buy American, that's what it's for. It's to stimulate our economy, not the Chinese economy. It's to stimulate our economy. So Buy American, that's my quick thing on that. But remember, we're doing things together as a family. We're doing things, and I know that we're stuck inside and things seem bleak at times in the news and everything. Turn off the TV. Teach your children some things. Teach them about Lou Gehrig. Let's do some other things that can make these kids happier than sad. I mean, this thing, it's driving everybody crazy, the news. We don't need to be watching it 24/7 to find out what's going on. And, I'm lucky, I guess, because I've got two adult children who they've formed their own opinion. They're old enough to be able to do that. And then I got a 2-year-old that she's just extremely happy that everybody's home. She seems so happy that just to hang out with everybody, which is awesome. But I've talked to people at work that's got that middle-aged kind of kids that, and I'm sure you got that at home too, 8 to 12-year-olds or whatever. And I'm getting mixed reviews. Some of the kids are just acting like, oh, well, I mean, I can play more video games, I can hang out or whatever, and they're okay, and they're dealing with it. And just within the same family, you've got other kids that are extremely nervous and they're wound up and they're stressed out over this whole thing. And it's like we have to, as parents, we've got to be able to let them know that things are going to turn out okay. We're a country that was built on absolute perseverance and the things that we've been through, and we've lived through the smallpox and all the epidemics that you could think of, and we've come out stronger than before. And you go through that whole history lesson, building the railroads, the people that died building those railroads, they weren't meant to live. They were meant to die, building the railroads, to explode in a tunnel or whatever. And during that time too, we were facing smallpox, and we were able to get through everything. So make sure that the kids understand the history of America. And that's something that we need to bring up into keeping things in perspective of what we're going through today. We're going to come out on the other side. We're going to be okay. Let's make sure that we know and we keep our kids looking at this. Because, and I saw this too, it's better to be 6 feet apart than to be 6 feet under. And I mean, that's just the way that life is right now. And it's the things that we're going through. And just real quick, I mean, I keep this QBvelocity.com above my head because that's my business with my son. Go to QBvelocity.com and read the blog that my son wrote, and facing adversity and facing the things that he's had to go through. And these seniors, I mean, I feel bad for every single senior that's out there. My son's a senior in college. And now we got to go through this and face this together that, you know, we're not going to have graduation. We're not going to have these things. But things could be worse. You know, people are going off to war. I've got an uncle that, you know, said that, you know, he didn't receive his diploma. He got it in the mail because he was shipped off to Vietnam. So, I mean, you know, right as soon as he got out of high school, he didn't really walk. He didn't graduate. He went right off to Vietnam. So you got to keep that stuff into perspective and make sure that we're teaching our kids the same, because we don't need to let the media get into our heads and get into our families' heads. But that's what I just wanted to say today, because things are changing. We're going to be okay. Let's comment, subscribe to my channel. Go to the Pina Financial Coaching on Facebook, Coach P2210@yahoo.com. Like this page, subscribe to me. I'm going to be bringing up whatever's on my mind to get us through this so that we can concentrate more on our finances going forward. Because you know what I say, I want to win. I want to help you win. Let's win together.